Okay, perfect. Now we're going to continue with the little rocket that's heading to the moon. So if you want to put the rocket going towards the moon, you can follow this example. Today, I'm going to make the rocket coming back, okay? Because it's I love you to the moon and back. You got to go both ways, right? Okay, so I'm going to put it coming back, and I'll put this beside if you want to put it the other way, okay? So putting the rocket is just a bunch of little shapes, right? So you can have a little hat, little tip of the rocket, that's a triangle. This is a bit of a cylinder shape here, the body. And over here, the flames are just jutting out little edges like that, okay? So I'm gonna go here. And I'm gonna draw a little hat of the rocket. You can see. And then the little body of the rocket. With a little ring over here. Rockets in real life are obviously more complicated than this. Little window so you can look out and look at the stars. Those are just little circles. And then little flames. Like that. Everyone see? It kind of looks like a carrot from this angle. And then we're going to make it look less like a carrot by adding these little arms over here. Okay. Like this. Does everyone see well? Okay. And then we're going to make sure we know that the rocket is coming from the moon by adding these little movement vectors, little movement lines. So we're going to make it kind of go whoosh, 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 coming in from the moon. Okay. We'll add the hearts at the very end to make sure that everyone knows the trajectory. Okay, I'll just let everybody work on the rocket for a bit. Move these over here. Okay. All right, the next step is pretty easy. We're drawing the planet that we're living on, right? So we're gonna, this is a bit of a, trying to do a bit of perspective, even though in real life it doesn't look this way, because Earth is, we're looking from the perspective of being on top of Earth, right? So it's gonna be really, really big. So we're gonna actually take up the corner, as you can see here, and most of the side even. So just draw a part of a circle, but you're not going to complete the circle because it's going to be really big. So just draw a big shape like that. I'll darken it. You can tilt your paper if it's easier. Draw a big shape. Again, doesn't have to be perfectly round. We'll definitely know it's planet Earth. And then on top, I'm not so good with geography, but we're going to draw some countries here. You can have a guess at what those are because I don't really know either. So we're just going to draw some land. Okay. Little island here. Some more land. Okay. All right. Okay, I hope everyone is caught up. Now we're just going to add the little hearts. So for the hearts, you just want to make a circular shape. So you want it to go from the Earth to the moon, around the moon, and then back to the Earth. Okay. So we're going to go from, let's say we started off here. We go here. It's kind of like sprinkling some pixie dust around the galaxy. Okay, and then, oh, maybe this little heart is in the back. So we're going to hide a piece of it in the back of the moon over there. And then we're gonna circle around, come back to this side, and draw little hearts. Again, they don't have to be perfect. There you go. Now we've come back from our little trip. Okay. I'll give you some time to catch up or to gather your painting materials, because the next step is to paint this, okay? So I'm gonna take this, put it away. Okay, I hope everyone is caught up. If you're not caught up, feel free to put a thumbs up or something on the screen to let me know. Or you can unmute and let me know, and I'll wait a bit more. All right. Oh, is somebody unmuted? Oh no, okay. So if everyone's okay, I'll continue. I'll try to go slow. Okay, so what should we paint first? Let's paint the easiest thing first. I would say painting Earth, right? We know Earth very well and we have the colors down well. So just get a green and a blue. Any green, blue that you want. My thing here is a bit messy, but I do have green. I have a green here. I should have cleaned this before doing this. Some green. If you're not satisfied with the green that you have and you want to make it a bit lighter, you can add yellow, because yellow and blue make green. And the thing with watercolor is you want quite a bit of water, and you don't actually need that much paint, okay? So you just put the green that you want, mix, mix, mix until you get the one you want, and then add some water to it. And then just go onto your paper and brush it on. And watercolor paper absorbs it quite well without kinking. If you use normal paper, it can start to fold. So watercolor paper is usually the best for this kind of project, very sturdy. So what I like to do is I like to color everything in first and then go back if I want to add any shading, any outlining. Okay. Again, it doesn't have to be perfectly even, because I find that watercolor actually looks better when it's less even. Okay, I'm gonna do this little island here. And one reason why I like to have extra paper beside me is that whenever I find that I have too much color on, I can dab it off. Dab it off like that, because usually it takes a while to absorb. So if you make a mistake, you can quickly dab it off. Okay, so we're gonna do this little bit. Okay. After that, we're gonna keep using the same green. I'm gonna make it a bit darker than I did before, and I'm gonna try making some outlines. We're making the land look a little more, how do I say, 3D or geographically interesting. So I'm gonna add a bit of a darker shade there, like that. And maybe some patches here. Maybe there's a mountain, I don't know. And you can fade it out. Don't be afraid to dab in some color where you want. It's all up to you. And it's okay if it goes over the lines that you made. They can actually be prettier that way. No worries at all. Okay. I'm gonna go with a little island now. And this piece of land here. Okay. So I'm done with the green. I'm gonna move to the blue. It's okay if you're not finished. I'll try to go a bit slowly so everyone can catch up. So for the blue, I'm gonna use this blue, but you can also use any blue that you would like. Okay, same thing. This time I'm just gonna do the water. So we're gonna go over here. The green hasn't totally dried yet, so I don't want it to bleed over. I'm just gonna dab a bit. Blowing on it. So I'm just gonna try to avoid the green places for now because it hasn't dried entirely. And I'm gonna go lightly with this blue because as you will see later, the galaxy will also be a shade of blue and I don't want it to be too redundant. So we're gonna go light on this blue. And carefully contour the little islands so that they do not get too smudged. All right, I'm happy with that. Is everyone okay? Everyone sounds very quiet and concentrated on mute. Okay, I'll move on. And if you have any questions in the end, you can ask. Okay, for the next thing, I think we're gonna do the moon, the other big celestial object. So the moon is shades of gray. So if you have a black paint, that works. I personally don't have black paint, so I'll be mixing some colors. I'll be mixing this brown over here that I have. I'll show it better. This brown with a bit of blue. I tried this yesterday and it made a bit of a gray color, so I will be happy to go with that. So if you don't have black paint, you can try this method. You can also just try brown. You can try any other color you'd like. Gray or beige, or you can also try mixing a bunch of colors together. Usually that produces a dark color. Okay, so I'm gonna take this, and the moon is a bit complicated because, well, it's not too complicated. You just wanna make it patchy looking like that. So it doesn't need to be the same darkness everywhere. You can put some lighter, you can put some darker, whatever you'd like. So I'm just gonna go with what I feel like doing. A lot of painting is, I mean, if you're painting real life things, you tend to want to go with very realistic looking things and make it look like what it looks like in real life. But I find it's also freeing and fun to go with whatever you want, even if it is not the norm. So if you end up having a purple moon, then that is great as well. You can play with the amount of water you add. So more water means more diluted. And more diluted means you have a lighter shade. I usually like to put down lighter shades first. And then if I ever want to darken things, I like to go back and darken it. Some people like to put down light shades where they want and then put the dark shades in other spaces. It's up to you. So now I'm going to go a bit darker and mix more colors. Okay. I think I'm happy with that. Is everyone doing okay with their moons? I will take the silence as a yes. If not, we can also review at the end. Okay. Now the two big celestial bodies are knocked out of the way. We're going to work on our little rocket ship there. So the rocket ship, I'll make it red, I think. I think I'll make it red. All right. I'm going to make it this red here. Again, any color rocket ship is fine. If you have more colors than me, then that's actually better. Make a purple rocket ship. So I'm just going to color the tip of the rocket. This is why I like using a small brush, because you can get to the very small things. If you have a bigger brush, that's also okay. You can make a bigger drawing and it'll be easier for you to color that. So I don't know if you can see well, but I've colored basically the nose and the arms of the rocket in red. For the body of the rocket, I'll use this beige color that I have. Again, if you don't have a beige color, you can go with any other color, and you can also go with just white. So I have to be careful here because I don't want the red to leak through. Oh, it leaked through a bit. To dab, dab, dab. No, actually, that's a cool effect. I'm gonna leave it. All right. I won't touch it much more because I don't want more to leak through. You can blow on it to try to dry it, but usually takes a couple minutes. Okay, now for the flame, I'm gonna go with orange. Again, I just like to put a layer of orange. Wait for it to dry and then maybe add a bit of a red on top. For the rocket, it's really up to you what colors you'd like to use. So it's our personalized rocket ship. Okay, I'm gonna wait for it to dry, or I can shake it like this. While we wait for it to dry, if anyone else is in my situation, we can paint the little hearts. So we're gonna use red for that, obviously. And we're also, you can use purple if you have purple. I have this burgundy-ish color. Oh no, it's actually not burgundy. It's actually a, what's it called? Fuchsia, I think. I'm gonna use a bit of this fuchsia color. I'm gonna use a bit of the red, alternatingly. You can make little blue hearts. That's also very cute. Green hearts, yellow hearts, whatever is at your disposal. Okay. I'm gonna take the red, make the other hearts. That gurgling noise is me cleaning my brush with the water, by the way. It's not a pet fish. Okay, I think this part is dry now, so I'm going to just add a little bit of this red over here. I don't think you can actually tell. I'm just adding a bit of red to the tip of this here, so that the fire has a bit more variety of color. My lighting is really bad. I don't think you can tell. There. Okay. So now that we have all of this, we're going to do the background. Okay. Now the background's a bit complex because we have all these little hearts and all these other elements in the way. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick a color for the background. I'm going to pick this dark blue that I have here. This one. It's a very, very pretty dark blue. And what I'll do is for the parts that are very big, that have a lot of space, I'm going to use this thick brush, this really big brush. And then for the smaller bits around the hearts and everything, I'm going to use my trusty tiny brush, okay? So I'll actually start with the big brush. If you have a lot of space, feel free to use a big brush. Big brushes are fun. I'm going to add quite a bit of water so I can cover the surface. I think there's not enough pigment in there, so I'm going to try to get more. So I don't want to put too much pigment at first because if it dries out, it might be uneven. But that's okay if it's uneven. So I'm being careful around the hearts, as you see. And I'll go this way. So here's a bit more complicated, so I'm gonna transition to my smaller brush very soon. You can also wait a bit if your hearts are still drying. Mine are almost done drying. Okay, I've covered a lot of ground with my big brush. Now I think it's time for the details. So I'm gonna use my small one, load it up with some water, and then just go carefully around everything I've already painted, making sure that I try not to cover it up. If you do, it's okay. We'll still be able to see what's underneath. I'm just gonna try not to. I hope this idea of a painting was good for January. I know it's not the month of love officially yet, but every month is a month of love. And I thought it would be nice to make it now so that we can give to people we care about. Or you can keep it to yourself. Self-love is also very important. You can love yourself to the moon and back, right? Okay. I'm almost done. I don't know how you guys are doing. I'll check up on you in a bit. But you just brush, brush, brush. It's okay if it's uneven. It gives it a more artistic look. And my hearts are kind of bleeding through. That's okay. We have a little halo around them. Okay. Perfect. I'm going to turn it around so that I can. As you can see, I'm using my paper to absorb the extra liquid there. Clean up after myself. Okay. Well, my part is done. I'm just going to wait till everyone finishes and then we can share results. I'll stop the recording. And yeah, thank you for attending this session.